What's up team, Martin here with another video on how to learn photography. And we have all heard of the 10,000 hours that we need to put in to get really good at something. But how should we spend those 10,000 hours? And how can a retired MMA fighter teach us how to learn photography faster? More on that in this video. 10,000 hours is a lot. And if you divide that up into 5 hours every week, which is probably a reasonable amount of time that you could spend on a hobby like photography if you have a full-time job, 5 hours a week would lead to 2,000 weeks or roughly 38 years to reach those 10,000 hours. And well, that is a lot. But what the concept is really trying to say is just that you need to spend a lot of time to get good. And I totally agree with that. But how you spend those 10,000 hours must play a big role in that as well, right? So this is my 3 steps of learning in pretty much anything and how I would spend my 10,000 hours when I wanted to learn something. And the first step is the passive learning. So this is things like listening to someone lecturing about the subject, or if you're watching a YouTube video like you are right now. And in this step you are consuming information, but you're not really interacting with it in any way. And it is in this first step that we start to get excited about the topic. But if we would spend 10,000 hours doing just this, listening or watching videos, would we really become professionals? Well, probably not. Think of it like this. We have an Olympic gymnast. We have the Olympic Games on television right now. Well, she would not be able to learn how to do all of those movements or those flips and stuff if you just watched some tutorials on YouTube or she'll listen to her coach tell her how to do it. She also needs to learn by doing. And I'm not one to tell you how or why this works, but there are plenty of peer-reviewed studies that you can find out there. So check those out if you are interested. But this leads us nicely into step number 2, which is learn by doing. And in this step, we are now going to implement the things that we learned in the first step, and we are going to start to try those out ourselves. And we are also going to harness the excitement from the first step where we started to get excited, and we're going to use that excitement to do it ourselves. And on top of that, we are also going to push it a little bit further. We're going to try some new things and expand on the things that we learned in the first. And by going through the motion of doing things, we are creating new pathways up to our brain, which just means that over time, things are going to get easier and easier the more that we do it. And if we go back to photography as the thing that we are trying to learn, this would be the next step after watching a YouTube tutorial. Then you go out with your own camera and try to recreate that. You try it yourself and you do it a few times, and then you try to expand on it. You try to push it a little bit further. Maybe if I go like this direction, what would happen then? And that was the second step in the learning process. And now for the third one, which is learn by teaching. And this is one that I think is really powerful and maybe a little bit underused. And when I think back in my own life, I think of situations where maybe I have had a bit more knowledge in a specific subject matter than one of my friends, and they asked me something. Those were the times when I actually learned the most in that specific subject. So when I had to teach someone else something is when I learned the most. So again, photography, this could be, let's say you watched a tutorial on how to do something, then you tried it out yourself, you started to learn it. Now for the third step, you also want to share this with a friend of yours who is also a photographer. You show them how to do this effect, you show them all the ins and outs, and this really forces you to just describe this technique with your own words. And this is where things are really going to get stuck in your head. Stick in your head or something like that. Lock the information in is what I have written in my notes. And there is this concept that I think originally came from this MMA fighter Frank Shamrock. So correct me if I'm wrong here. And it goes something like this, that you need a plus, you need a minus, and you need an equal in your life. And this concept is pretty much what I just have described to you. But in other words, what it means is learn the fastest or in the best way. You need one plus in your life And that plus is someone who is better at something than you are. So that person can then teach you something and you listen, you watch, and that is the first step of learning. Then you also need an equal in your life, and that is someone that is roughly at the same level as you. Someone that you can try things with, that gets you excited, someone that pumps you up, that inspires you to try new things. So you need an equal as well. But then you also need a minus in your life. And that just means that you need someone in your life that is just a few steps behind you in their journey than you are in yours. So just having someone in your life that you can teach something that you have already learned. And that is my 3 steps or formula, whatever you want to call it, how to learn photography faster. And if you want to learn even more, I have created a video up here on a few different photography exercises that you can do to improve your photography. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.